Okay, what's going on, Matt? So today, uh, as you know, I passed the OSCP. Yay, me! Was definitely interesting and fun exam, and I liked it. I really liked my 24 hours of testing. I got motivated by my family's support, and surprisingly, yay, you met. You made me try harder. Um, I told you that I will help you so you can pass your OSCP, and in order for me to help you, I had to pass first, right? So because of I had that thought, when I need the final push, I was able to push it harder and pass the exam. So thank you so much, and this episode is to help you. Um, so you can have a better plan to pass your exam. I'm gonna share like how I'm gonna briefly cover how the exam and reports is set up, and I will share my failures and my success story. Then I'll cover how we as a team we are going to plan for your exam. So let's do it. So there are a lot of good resources um, on the if you can Google it easily. But so I'm not gonna go super detail on exam and report and whatsoever. But I just want to kind of lay out, um, get the key points out right here. So you get a five boxes and you need 70 points and a report to pass. So if you even if you get 70 points and 70 points or 100 points, if you don't turn that in, uh, turn in the report, it doesn't matter. You will not pass. Um, you'll get two 25 pointer. One box being the overflow buffer overflow box, and you'll get two 20 pointer boxes and one 10 pointer box. Um, for you will get 23 hours and 45 minutes for your exam. So a proctor will or proctors will watch you and listen to you and try to connect to you for first 23 hours and 45 minutes. Then, um, yeah, there's a proctor portion, and you can use a meterpreter for one box and one box only. You should take many screenshots as many as possible, and I recommend using Tmux, and don't close session even if you pass or get the flags out of the box. As soon as your exam is over, you'll have 24 hours to upload your report. This session you'll not have a proctor, and but you will not have access to those boxes. Hmm. Yeah. Nah. So my failures, kind of shame to share it, right? You're gonna read a lot of how I passed my OSCP within 6 months. You're gonna hear a lot of great stories, but this is not one of the fancy and glorious moment. I failed 3 times and I failed hard and passed on my fourth. And the goal here is that by sharing my failure, you can minimize those mistakes. So on my first try, I knocked out buffer overflow within first 4 hours, and that was my first and last box. With the second try, I got 60 points. I got buffer overflow, 10 pointers, and 25 pointer box. On third box, I got 60 points again, and I got this exact same numbers. Or 3 times trier, I started at 8 and finished at 8. I was up about 20 hours plus to knock those out, but I couldn't figure out the 220 pointers boxes. Why I fail? I think the one of the reason why I fail it was because I started the exam with automated tools, right? Like Oricons or Lean, Leaninum, those kind of whatever tools. Um, and kind of rely on those tools without doing further enumeration by myself. So that was a big mistake. And starting time was also another second factor. I started at 8 because I'm a morning person. Um, what I didn't realize that by the time I reach about 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. next day, right? I only have 2 to 3 hours to take a nap. Then when I get up, then I will have about 1 hour or 2 hours to get back to the boxes. So I didn't really have much time to refresh my brain. Um, yeah, those are my failures. Sucks, but whatever. Surprisingly, like those failures, those are the times I have learned the most, right? Like as a dad with a job, now without job, but with a job and like lifetime, whatever. I didn't have. Whenever I do prep for the OSCP, I didn't really sit down and think through, right? Whenever I do hack the box or proving ground, I try 2 3 hours and try this and that, then realize, oh my gosh, I don't have enough time, and start to look for a hint, whether it's a forum or walkthrough or someone else's work or hints from Discord, whatever. I utilize them all to make sure I get the flag and type it on the whatever websites. But that was really main reason why I failed the exam. I can tell you that. Rely on walkthrough because I couldn't resist to get a flag. Then fail the exam. How pathetic, right? Each exam cost about 150. Now is the PWK increased the total amount is like 250 or something. Not really sure, but it cost me 450 or plus just to retake those exams. So I want you to just be mindful. Um, Using walkthrough will temporarily will make you feel better, but in reality, when you actually doing the exam, it'll work against you. And that's the reason why when I took those exams and suffer 24 hours to serve those, I learned the most. I mean, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm finally learning something. So there goes to you, Matt. Walkthrough is bad for you. And sometimes it's very helpful for your mental health too, right? Oh my gosh. So my success on the first try, I got 75 points. One buffer overflow, 10 pointers, and two 20 pointers. Yay! I started at 1 p.m. and slept about 3 hours in 30 hours. So I slept around 3 and woke up at 6 a.m. Then it still give me plenty of like 6 7 hours to do more. I mean, like this worked out perfect because like when I go to sleep at 3 a.m., I couldn't do the PE of the last, but the 20 pointer privilege escalation. I was not able to do it by having a 3 hours sleep within my natural sleeping time. I was able to refresh my brain and then get back to it, and I was able to PE almost as soon as like I woke up, which was great. Um, I started with a bash script I generated. So instead of Oricon or whatever other tools, which is great tool, I'm not saying that you should not use it. Those are whoever create those tools are awesome people. God bless them. But I want something really basic. I want the tools to do mmap. I want the tools to do really simple whatever. So I create a bash script doing really simple. Let's see where is the let's see where I can where you can see the website. Here we go. Yeah, I don't have it. I don't have it with me, but I'll share it. I'll share it on the later on the comment section or whatever. But the bash script is doing nothing more than nmap buff and goalbuster, basically enumerate, and that's it. And because it was doing that, I was able to dig more and get more information, which was awesome. So I ran the bash script and then worked on buffer overflow. By the time I finished buffer overflow, the scan was almost done, so I started to look for results and did further enumeration with whether NICTOFUF or Recon mmap, then generated reports as I finished the exam. So I used a lot of resources like Virtual Hacking Lab, Hack the Box, Proving Grounds, and a lot of other resources. On the next slide, I'll show you what my recommendation to you, basically. So my recommendation or suggestion for you, Matt, the goal. Let's have a tentative goal that you're gonna pass the exam no later than 31st of December of this year, so that you can have a Corona certification. Yay! Let's do Hack the Box for 3 months, then move on to Proving Grounds to finalize it. Why? So Hack the Box has so much resources out there, so much walkthrough, so much items and whatever. Versus Proving Ground is more like you can only see a one walkthrough per 24 hours, and they kind of plan in a weird way. So if you look at a walkthrough at 11 p.m. on January 1st, you will not able to see another walkthrough until January 2nd, until after January 2nd, 11 p.m. So it requires, from the moment that you see it open up a walkthrough, you need 24 hours to see another walkthrough. So sometimes you'll absolutely miss that window and watch that like day after and whatever. We are going to, and you are going to develop your own note. We want something similar to hack tricks. Like here, you see how this awesome person has a port number and see what is possible. So let's say port 22, you can do this whatever information, you can enumerate with a NACAT with IP numbers, and you can do SSH scans, and you can do mmap, right? So this is what you want. But this is like the person's note, right? What you want is that you want a Git book or handbook, notebook, physical notebook, or it's in like whatever text file, whatever you have it. You want something that can be used for you as your tool, which will force you to dig more stuff and learn more stuff. So that's my recommendation. Also, you want like Linux privilege escalation section, like here, Linux PE, this is what you're gonna do, or this is what you're gonna do. Again, this is Hacktrick's note, not your note, because it's Hacktrick's note. He knows what information is where. in order for you to locate certain information, it'll take a lot of time. So by making your own note, you'll know what information is located where and where to look for. During your PE, you're gonna maximize the use of WinPs or LinPs. I'll share the location to you later, or you can look it up on Google. So basically, it's a privilege escalation tool for Windows and Linux. We're gonna use it, but at the same time, we'll try to understand what those tools are telling you. And for buffer overflow box, we are going to use TriHandy buffer overflow prep. It has like 10 different exercise. Your goal is that do first one, 5 or 3. Use first one to make a note. You're gonna make a step-by-step process. Then starting on the second one, you're gonna tailor your notes, and you're gonna try to finalize the notes or by doing a couple more and test it with a couple more exercise. But we'll cover buffer overflow later down the road. So practical exercise, right? So the moment you start, you'll know IP address and which boxes are 25 points and which boxes are doing the buffer overflow. So as soon as the exam starts, you're gonna run a scanner, and it's basically scanning, or you're gonna make a script to run scanning enumeration. So basically, you're gonna scan 25 and 20, 10 pointers. While the scan is running, you're gonna work on buffer overflow. And your goal here is that you're gonna knock out buffer overflow before your scanning is done, or right after your scanning is done, which is about 30 minutes to an hour, or depending on the scanning, yes. But then make a scanner to run 30 minutes to 1 hour, or that's kind of how I do it. And then you're gonna look at each box's results. For example, go to 25 pointers. Look at the results. Read it. Make a note. Which what attack vectors are feasible, and you're gonna make note. We're not gonna do further in attack beyond that, right? You're gonna make a note. You're gonna identify many attack vectors as possible, then move on to 20 pointers, and you're gonna repeat the same thing. You're gonna look for attack vectors, and you're gonna make a note out of it. You're gonna search for most feasible, highly likely, penetratable path, and whatever, blah blah blah. And what you're gonna do, make a note as detailed as possible, then move on to the next box. The reason why we are doing this is that because let's say you find a privilege initial foothold penetration vector. You try that, working hard. You find a vulnerability in Google or search exploit. You're doing it, try to fix that, but turns out that exploit doesn't work. We might require some tweaking in order for you to make it work, right? Then realize you're trying and keep trying, and 3 hours later realize that you are in a rabbit hole. So instead of finding a location and keep digging it, or finding a attack vector and keep digging it, you're gonna find multiple attack vectors. If one fails, try another one. If the other one fails, go for the next possible attack vectors. That will help you to stay away from the rabbit holes. So, and we'll utilize this process on my next recording, how we're gonna do this. So, just kind of to recap, Matt, we have about 6 months of window. Within this window, stay on the keyboard as much as possible. Stay away from walkthrough as long as possible. And you're gonna use hack the box initially to build your process. then you're gonna finalize your process with proving ground. And you're gonna do your buffer overflow prep with the try hack me. So I hope my information is somewhat useful to you. I really do. And next time I'll come back with a recording on actually doing a box instead of blocking. And I finally got a mic. So as soon as I noticed that I passed the exam, I got a mic, so I can do better job on the recording. I hope you like the quality of the sound better. And if you have any feedbacks, and let me know. And that's it. That's a wrap. God bless you, my friend. And happy hacking. Later.